Well, I've said this before. I've learned more football from Jimmy Johnson than anybody I've ever worked with. He's just one of my favorite people. And I love the fact that he's still on the show. He's down in the Keys, and he was one of the great college football coaches, won a couple of Super Bowls in the NFL, and he is just one of the reasons I like working on the weekends. I can talk to Jimmy, and I just pepper him with questions, and he's always got thoughtful answers, and he is joining us live, a Hall of Famer now, richly deserved. We complained about it for years. We didn't understand why he wasn't in. Now he is. He's joining me down in the Keys via the Cowherd Global Satellite Network. So let's start with this. So, no preseason, and everybody like me can come out and criticize Mike McCarthy, and I don't think they look very multiple on offense. And then part of me thinks, well, settle down here. How good can they be? What are the expectations? When you watched the Cowboys offense, which struggled in the second half, what's the problem? Where's the blame? Am I being too harsh saying they're just too vanilla?
Yeah, I think you're right on as far as not having a preseason, not having the offseason, not being able to implement some of the things that McCarthy can bring.
Right.
The one thing, they are a very talented roster. Prescott is a very good quarterback. The more I evaluate Prescott, the more it reminds me of a quarterback that I used to have when I was at University of Miami. I had Bernie Kosar and Vinny Testaverde at the same time. And people wanted me to compare the two, Testaverde or Kosar. Testaverde, big, strong, could run like a deer, had a rocket bullet arm, could scramble, could run, could do it all. But the offense had to be precision for him. It had to be take the step, throw it here, look, read the safety, throw it here or throw it here. That's it. Kosar, you could throw him out there with a bunch of ragnots on a sandlot. And he was going to make plays. He just made plays. In some ways, not as talented and not as good, obviously, but in some ways like Aaron Rodgers. Can just make plays, throw off your back foot, sling it underarm, you do all these different things. And I think Prescott's a lot like Testaverde. You have to have a very precise offense to be successful. But as far as letting him go and just drop back and read the field and make a lot of decisions, that's not his game. So McCarthy, I'm sure, will implement some of his stuff in time, but they are at their best, when they are taking the lead, pounding the football, rushing the passer, but playing from behind or even in a tight game is not their game.
By the way, you're a fan of McVay. Last night, your interpretation, I like Goff more than people do, but I think McVay's a pretty special guy. What do you see as a Hall of Fame coach with McVay?
I thought he did a masterful job last night. Knowing that they've got the pass rushers, knowing that, he did not want to take the negative play. In the negative play, the interceptions or the sacks. So he ran the ball. At times it was boring he was running the ball. When he wasn't running the ball, it was play action, dump it over in the flat. Very rarely did he have to go down the field. Yeah. He did a great job there. Hey, and they played coverage against those receivers, and then were able to rush the passer. Yeah, he did a great job, kept it tight, and then, of course, won at the end.
So Bruce Arians very critical of Tom Brady, and Tom's been around the block. Your thoughts, even though it was our first game together, were you often publicly critical of a quarterback? Are you okay with that?
I probably was at times. I shouldn't have. It should have been a one-on-one conversation. So it's hard. Anytime you call out one of your players publicly, especially a quarterback with their egos, you're going to cause some tension there. And I think it's tension that you don't really need. But sometimes all of us, the reporter's asking questions, right off the cuff, you want to give them the right answer. A lot of times you shouldn't give them the right answer. Belichick's got it best, owned to Cincinnati, and so I don't think it's good to publicly criticize your quarterback.
Yeah. I tried to consider the circumstances with Joe Burrow. I thought he looked pretty darn good. I thought that last drive, his feet were good. You could go back to Aitman, compare, like even when you were losing with Troy early, there were probably things you saw that you liked, and you knew deep down, I just got to get him better players. What did you make of Burrow's debut?
I thought he did a great job. First time, right out of college, with no preseason, no off-season work. I thought he did a great job. He put him in a position to win against a decent, not great, decent football team. And so, he was able to tuck the ball down, run, actually got the score that way. He's going to be good. And, Norv Turner worked him out when they were getting ready for the draft, and he said, hey, this guy's got it all. He loved the guy. I think he will get better. It's almost like the conversation I had with Troy Aikman his second year. I said, if Troy hadn't hurt his shoulder, we would have made the playoffs the second year. And I grabbed him in practice one day. I said, Troy, I tried to get you in the Pro Bowl, but it didn't work. I'm sorry. He said, Coach, don't worry about it. I'll get plenty of Pro Bowls. You just keep surrounding me with good players, and we'll be fine. And that's the same thing for Burrow. If he gets enough good players around him, he'll be fine.
It's interesting. Baker Mayfield plays Burrow on Thursday, and Cleveland's got better players right now. And Baker's on his fourth head coach, one of them interim, 3 head coaches. And I watched him yesterday, and I've been critical of the kid, so, my word doesn't carry a lot of weight anymore because I've been so critical of him. But, God, we're on a fourth head coach. He still is hot and cold accuracy. He and OBJ doesn't work. I still think he thinks he's a little more athletic than he is. At some point, Jimmy, as a staff, as an organization, you're either in or you cut bait. Where do you think? I mean, is there going to be a point this year with Baker, if it's the same stuff, that you have to go sit to the owner and say, we got the wrong guy. It's not going to work.
Yeah, I think you just got to scale him back and do what he does best. That organization is so just here, there, and everywhere. They've got some talented players, some that probably have got more talent than they've got sense. But there's something wrong there. It's been something wrong there for quite some time.
Yeah. I watched Minnesota and Green Bay yesterday, and it's funny about this. So when I watch Arizona with Kyler Murray, I mean, Jimmy, they let him throw 40 times. The coaching staff, they're really handing the playbook to him, and they're letting him go. And then I watch San Francisco with Garoppolo, and I don't know if Kyle trusts Jimmy in certain spots. And I wonder about that from a coaching perspective. Are you sending a message in San Francisco to the players that the coach doesn't trust the quarterback? Because I watched Seattle yesterday with Russell and Kyler. Those coaches just said, throw it. And I feel like the players can figure that stuff out. Would you worry in San Francisco that they're taking the ball out of Jimmy's hands a lot now?
Well, they may be doing it for a reason, Colin. I just throw it to you. You got Russell Wilson or Jimmy Garoppolo. Which one do you want?
Yeah, Russell, yeah.
Yeah, and even though it's only been a little over a year, Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray's better.
Probably, yeah. I mean, so maybe the coaches are doing exactly the best that they can do to get the most out of their player. You don't want to throw stuff at a player that he can't handle. They're doing the best that they can do to win ball games, and they say, hey, this gives us the best chance to win. If we open it up and we start doing all this, we're going to barely be 8-8. And so they're doing what's the best thing for them to win ball games because their quarterback is not as talented as the other two. With Russell Wilson, you can do about whatever you want to because he's got that much talent. I mean, the guy's great. Aaron Rodgers, hey, what do you want to do? Aaron can handle it. They're great players, but every quarterback's not a great player. So you do what you have to do to win games.
That's interesting. It's funny. Yesterday, New England only threw 18 times with Cam. But I got to tell you, Jimmy, when I watched them, I thought it was an incredibly efficient game plan. I thought it was, it was like, wow, that's what you do with Cam.
Hey, would you expect anything different from Belichick?
I know.
Yeah, he's not going to let Cam Newton lose the game for him. He knows what his talent is. I've talked to Josh McDaniels 2 or 3 times here in the last month, and they are so pleased. Of course, Cam's got to prove himself. Cam's a very proud, egotistical individual, and he's gotten beat up the last year or two. Yeah, he's healthy now, and he wants to prove that he is a premier quarterback. But, being a premier quarterback is not necessarily dropping back and throwing it, 40 times.
Right.
His strength is running the football. And, hey, this is going to be a very difficult offense to get ready for. Don't forget, Josh McDaniels had Tebow and won with him there in Denver. I mean, won a few. Didn't win big, but won a few. And, here they're running the read option. They're doing all kind of things that Cam can do. Now, as time goes on, Cam has shown he can throw the football as well as anybody, but it's got to be a little bit like I talked about on Prescott. It's got to be precision, read the safety, throw it here or throw it there. Don't drop back and look at the field.
Right.
And so I think they're going to be fine. And then once people spend all of that time working against the read option and working against Cam running the football, that's going to open it up for Cam to throw it down the field. I mean, I thought they did a great job yesterday doing what they had to do to protect Cam and to win the game.
By the way, you going to go fishing today?
No, I may go tomorrow, though.
Can't go 2 days without fishing. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to be ready for your show, so I didn't want to go fishing this morning and then be real tired and not want to do your show.
You're the best. Absolutely the best. The Hall of Famer. Coach, it's great seeing you. Thanks for coming on.
All right, Colin. Good doing it.
All right. Guy knows his stuff. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.